Is it recording?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Mr. Putter and Tabby, write the book. Take one. And thank you, Madison, for being my lovely camera lady. Mr. Putter and Tabby by Cynthia Rylance. You guys remember her?
Yeah.
She's the author of Henry and Mudge. So we're going to read this book because this is another series that she has written that I thought you guys might like. Okay? Number 1. Chapter 1, that is. An idea. In the big winter, in the big snow, always came to Mr. Putter's house. Mr. Putter and his fine cat, Tabby, liked big snows, but they couldn't go out in them because they were too cold. Mr. Putter might slip and break something, and Tabby might catch a bad cold. They didn't mind staying in, though, because Mr. Putter's house was so cozy. It had nice, soft chairs, it had velvet pillows, and it had a fireplace. Staying in was all right when everything was so soft and velvety and warm. One day, when Mr. Putter and Tabby were inside for a big snow, Mr. Putter got an idea. His idea was to write a book. He had everything a writer needed: a soft chair, a warm fire, and a good cat. And he had a pen and plenty of paper. I have always wanted to write a mystery novel, Mr. Putter said to Tabby. He wants to write a mystery novel. So he brought out lots of paper, lit the fire, plumped his chair, and got ready to begin. Now first he had to think of a title. So he thought, and he thought, and thought, and finally he told Tabby, I shall call my book The Mystery of the Lighthouse Cave. It was a very good title. It was full of mystery. And as a boy, he had read lots of books with titles like that. Does that sound like a pretty good mystery to you guys?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Putter was so pleased that he decided to fix a snack. So he went into the kitchen and fixed a big apple salad, a pan of corn muffins, some custard pudding, and a cheese ball. Mr. Putter spent 3 minutes on his title and 4 hours on his snack. Then he took a nap. Mystery writing was not easy work. Does it sound like he's going to get much done on his mystery? Boy, it sure doesn't, does it? Now, number 2, chapter 2 that is about chapter 1 of his mystery. On the second day that he was a mystery writer, Mr. Putter had a nice long breakfast with Tabby of oatmeal and tea. And then he settled down to write again. But first he had to stoke the fire. Make sure that it's burning good, right? You guys know what that means, to stoke the fire?
Yeah.
That's raking it all around so that your wood's burning good, because it's got to be warm inside because it's like really snowy and cold outside, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then after he stoked the fire, he had to clean Tabby's ears, and then he had to find a sweater. Well, then he had to move his chair closer to the window, but then he had to move it back. Well, then he settled down again and he was ready to write. Mr. Putter looked at the walls and he thought and he thought and he thought and he thought, and finally he wrote chapter 1. He began to think some more, and as he was thinking, he looked out the window. A rabbit was in the yard. Such a nice rabbit, Mr. Putter said to Tabby. The rabbit made him think of Easter, and Easter made him think of boiled eggs. boiled eggs and a vegetable stew. Mr. Putter spent 1 minute on chapter 1 and 3 hours on eggs and stew. Then he took a bath. Then he took a nap. Mystery writing wore him out. You're on video camera doing bad things. It picks you up. You're talking. Sorry, class that's having to watch this. My class that's recording it is being bad. Chapter 3. Good things. The third day that he was a mystery writer, Mr. Putter woke up early to write again. He liked being a writer ready to write. First, he and Tabby had cinnamon toast and tea. And then Mr. Putter petted Tabby and began to think. He looked out his window, thinking. He looked at his fire, thinking. He looked at Tabby, thinking. Mr. Putter thought how blue the sky was. He thought how warm the fire felt. And he thought how nice it was to be with Tabby. He thought about so many good things that he began to write them down. Good things. Yellow cats, old sweaters, cinnamon toast, long baths, good dogs, and rain.
Got it.
Alright. He wrote and wrote. Mr. Putter wrote all day long. And when he finally stopped writing, the big snow had melted, and Mr. Putter went next door with Tabby to visit Mrs. Teaberry and her dog, Zeke. They had some French fried butternut squash for supper. And then Mr. Putter read Good Things. And when he finished, Mrs. Teaberry said it was enchanting. That sounds like a good word, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Enchanting must be something nice. So she said that Mr. Putter was a wonderful writer, and she said she could listen forever. I wanted to write The Mystery of Lighthouse Cove, said Mr. Putter very sadly, but I wrote Good Things instead. And I ate too much, and I took too many naps. Yes, he did, didn't he? Mrs. Teaberry told him not to worry. She said the world is full of mystery writers, but writers of good things are few and far between. Mr. Putter did not feel so sad then. He didn't feel sad at all. In fact, he was thrilled, because every writer loves a good review. Don't you like to be complimented on things you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to celebrate his good review and his good neighbors, Mr. Putter took Mrs. Teaberry and Tabby and Zeke out for vanilla malts, which is kind of like a milkshake. Yum.
Yum.
I think Mr. Putter likes to eat. What do you think?
Yeah.
And Mr. Putter also had so much fun and thought of so many good things that he could not wait for the next big snow, so he could be a writer again. What do you think?
That's good.
You think Mr. Putter is ever going to be a famous writer?
No.
I kind of don't really think so either. So that was Mr. Putter and Tabby Writes a Book by Cynthia Rylant. You got to zoom in there, Miss Madison. How about that? Okay. All right, you push that silver button again and turn it on.